Hey, it's Daria, aka Geek Girl, and you're watching episode 1 of my podcast. The topic of today's podcast is podcasting. I know, it seems a little redundant, but bear with me, okay? The most common of the questions that I get asked is, what is a podcast? What constitutes a podcast? Where do podcasts come from? Why do I want one? What the heck is an RSS feed inside of a podcast, or how is it associated with one? I'm here today to answer all of these questions for you. Let's start with etymology. Where does the word podcast even come from? Well, the first part is sort of obvious. It's derived from, of course, Apple's infamous player, the iPod. Cast comes from the word broadcasting, which in this case refers to the method of distribution or syndication of the content that is available in the podcast. Make sense? Let's go a little further. Every podcast begins with content, whether it's a text file, whether it's an audio file, whether it's a video file, basically any type of content that can be serialized and wants to be offered in terms of episodes or installments. That kind of content can essentially be podcast and shared all over the world on many, many different platforms. Now, you may be asking yourself, how does podcast distinguish itself from all sorts of other content that's on the web, whether it be audio, video, text, whatever? Well, the answer to that lies within the illustrious RSS feed. What it does is it allows podcast content to be automatically downloaded to whoever subscribes to it. So this way, people can always keep up to date with your latest and greatest podcast, or my latest and greatest podcast, with the click of a button and a subscription. Now, RSS feeds are so special that they even have their own logo. The logo is pretty standard. It's been adopted by most internet service providers or internet software, and what it looks like is this. When you're surfing your favorite web pages, and if you see this in the corner of your browser window address bar, then you know that you can subscribe to the content on that page, meaning once you subscribe, your computer will automatically download the newest, latest, greatest, most up-to-datest information from that page. Let's recap. A podcast is basically a media file, any sort of media file, audio, text, visual, video, music video, Geek Girl podcasts, any sort of good stuff, or sometimes bad stuff, that is distributed via paid or unpaid, usually they're free, subscription via the internet. This sort of internet syndication is possible because of our lovely RSS feed that we learned about earlier. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to tell you. RSS stands for Really Simple Syndication. See, that wasn't so bad now, was it? Alright, now that you know what a podcast is, it's time for housekeeping items. Make sure that you check out my blog at the address that's shown here below. And subscribe to it via the RSS feed available on that site, now that you know what one is. Or search for Geek Girl, aka Daria, on the iTunes Music Store podcasting page. Or email me at geek.girl@earthlink.net. And please, I do encourage you to continue emailing me all of your questions and thoughts and comments and encouragement and criticism to that email address. Again, it's geek.girl@earthlink.net. All right, people. Until next time. Cheers.